we're starting from where we said we will, which is the 1999 Constitution Amendment. Well, the amendment of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has taken the center stage in the country. A number of people have been talking about it. As a result of that, the House of Representatives on Wednesday suspended consideration of the Constitution Amendment report submitted on July the 4th by the ad hoc committee due to poor circulation of the reports to some members to read before deliberations. Well, there are a number of other issues around it. Some lawyers have said they have no right to amend the Constitution. They can only review it. And then suddenly some people say, actually, they cannot achieve anything by saying they're reviewing, because there's no such thing as reviewing the Constitution. You have to amend it. So we're not really sure where this is going to go, or whether all the effort over the last 6 months, 9 months of this Seventh Assembly will achieve anything in terms of the Constitution review. To discuss this with us, we've got on my left-hand side Mr. Tunde Odutola, who's a legal practitioner. I'm sorry, I called you Tunde again. I don't know why we keep referring to you as Tunde. Maybe we're doing a name change for you. This is Tokunbo Odutola. Great to have you here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
And I must very quickly say that we have someone else who will be joining us shortly, and that's Chigoziri Ojaka, who's also a legal practitioner. But we'll start with you before Chigoziri joins us. Let's start from the angle of the core debate, as I know it, which is, can the National Assembly, as it is constituted now, do they have a legal right to make amendment to the Constitution without going through what some lawyers have said? It's a long process.
It is indeed a long process, and I want to believe they initiated that process sometime about 2010-11, thereabout. You need to get a proposal approved by 2/3 majority of the National Assembly. You need also to get the approval from all states of the House of Assembly. However, where I differ on their validity or capability to amend the Constitution is, do we really have a people-oriented Constitution? The ground norm to the Constitution says, we the people. And if you go through the early preamble or historical background of the 1999 Constitution, this was a constitution that was promulgated by a decree. So the foundation of the Nigerian Constitution itself is faulty. There was at no time when we the people, it was people selected by the then military government that sat together and said, okay, this should be the rules or laws of the society. And to have a people-oriented constitution, some say because, well, we have elected our representatives, they have the right to speak on our behalf. Fine argument. However, the sovereignty still belongs to the people.
So are you implying by any chance that the Constitution as it is, it should not be amended? And if it is going to be changed, rather, instead of amendment, what we should have is a complete rewriting?
Very well. That's my own school of thought. That's where I belong to.
Top to bottom? Everything.
Everything.
Overhaul.
Let's have a people's constitution. We can have a referendum, and then we have a new constitution. If you have a people's constitution, a lot of issues would be addressed.
There was something that's very similar, though some people disagree. It's a complete referendum, but people gathered at different
We all
parts
know what
of the country and
gathering
decided
was.
and came up with a report.
Geopolitical gathering. Probably maybe for the Southwest. They went to Lagos. They made an effort.
Are you suggesting that the whole country gather in a place?
We could do state by state. State by state.
So that will then
you
be...
need to be involved. You see, when you have... we're operating a federal system. And we have federating units, which are the states. Every state must participate. It's a people's constitution. It's a constitution it's our Bible.
Okay, let's come to where we are now. What we would prefer, based on what you're saying, and a number of lawyers have said the same thing, that the current constitution we have does not really do what it should in terms of we the people haven't written it. It is not written by we the people. But where we are today is where we are. And what is being proposed, what's being initiated by the National Assembly, it's a review. Do you think they're carrying out a review, and will it amount to anything?
Well, you see, the only major review that I believe can make a positive change in this country is when the federalistic character of Nigeria, that is, when we practice federalism in its true sense. The moment the center is still wielding much power, there is a problem.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to do is where we are.
Yes.
We can't change that.
Right.
Where we are today is we've got a National Assembly that wants to review it. Do they have a legal right to review our constitution?
By virtue of the present constitution we're going through, provided they meet the process.
What's the processes outlined in the
Two-thirds
constitution?
majority. You must also have the two-thirds majority in all the states' House of Assembly.
Is that for a review or for an amendment?
You cannot review a constitution. It's just nomenclature. If I'm reviewing the constitution, I'm impliedly amending the constitution.
Okay.
I'm impliedly altering the constitution.
So that's the process. You review, then ultimately you amend.
You amend.
Okay. So they have to apply. They have to apply that set of processes in terms of percentage.
It's there in the constitution. It has to be followed.
Okay. Now let's look at what are the issues, the points that they have highlighted. What do you understand by the points they have highlighted in terms of the changes that will come out from the review? Which ones do you think are the right ones to focus on, and the ones that you think we should not even bother?
Earlier, the most important one I believe we should look at, it's the federal nature of the government.
Just a minute. Let me quickly tell you some of the areas they're looking at according to devolution of power, creation of states, recognition of geopolitical zones, local governments, fiscal federalism, mayoral status for the FCT, and executive immunity. Were highlighted.
If the bill that is being proposed and that I got knowledge of is anything to go by, creation of states has been jettisoned, that nobody met that. So we are not creating any states. They're looking at the issue of single term. They're looking at local government autonomy. Now, those are good areas to look into. They have made a step forward. They've made an effort. Let's commend them for that.
Okay.
They have made an effort, because we cannot always just sit down and be complaining. But what we are saying is, no matter how a woman is, with due respect, impregnated by another person, there is no how you can come to say the baby belongs to Mr. A. If I'm married to a woman for 6 years, and in the 4th year she comes forward with a baby and says it's my child, and it wasn't done by me, it's still not my child. Adopting the baby does not make it my child, biological child.
Okay, so is that, are you speaking in tongues in terms of referring to, are you referring to the fact that no matter what they do, the Constitution does not belong to the people yet?
It doesn't belong to the people yet.
Okay.
We started on the lie. Chief Rotimi Williams of Blessed Mary, the senior advocate, that also said this. Now look, when you say we the people, and the people didn't